So I made a video not too long ago about some figures on pre-order that I felt Hot Toys really had to nail the head sculpt, and it was a non-negotiable. Now, you can check out this video here. I'll link it in the description here, but it was basically ones that they couldn't screw up. And one on the list was the Dark Knight Rises Armory with the Bruce Wayne head sculpt that went through a few changes. And now today, it has finally officially released, and unfortunately, Hot Toys, I think, dropped the ball. Now, we're going to get into these photos so you guys can take a look, but this is out. It is officially released. There are definitely some positives about this. It is a very impactful piece overall. It visually represents really awesome. The suit in the armory, I think, looks great. In terms of details, it is an updated suit from the DX19, claiming to be more screen accurate. Is it 100%? I'm not even a huge Dark Knight fan, and I'm sure that there's definitely still some inaccuracies on the suit, but it is an improvement from the DX19. That being said, the Power Pose Bruce Wayne figure, I just feel like somehow it actually got worse, to where I did a comparison. These photos you're seeing right now are the blogger photos, and we're going to jump over in a moment. Once we go through this first round, I did a comparison that you can actually pause the video at one point, where I compare the movie to the first proto to the update to the final release, and it actually got relatively worse. And then I did a movie, I did a side-by-side, and if I had my way, I'd actually go back to the original prototype when it was first announced, because I still think that looks the best. Right here, you're going to see this comparison right here. So you have the movie, you have the first announcement, the update, and then the final, and it went down in quality 100%. As a matter of fact, even the clothing and everything on the figure, I know there's already a couple early reviews that are out. The clothing and everything just looks third party. The Power Pose figure, it's 100%. I think you're going to see this being parted out on the aftermarket without a doubt, just because I think a lot of people just want the armory, or they just want the actual Batman figure itself. I think the Bruce Wayne is going to be the first casualty in terms of hitting the buy-sell trade. And we also do have the other armory from the Dark Knight with Bruce Wayne in the suit. And so this is an interesting one. I felt in order to make collectors happy, and make it feel like they're paying the price of what this piece is, the premium pricing, they had to deliver and update this Power Pose figure to at least make it feel complete. And I just think Hot Toys, they just dropped the ball on it, frankly. Obviously, he's a little over muscular in this, but not only that, it just the sculpt and even the actual clothing just looks like a downgrade. The suit itself on the new Batman, the DX19, the new version, it does look great. The cape looks good. It looks fantastic in the armory, lit up with all that's extra, all the bells and whistles. Like this piece right here, just the armory by itself looks amazing. But for the price, it's just like even these photos right here that you see of him, it just looks really, really, really off. The head sculpt, I kind of wish they went with a closed mouth expression, but even then, it just looks very plasticky, very fake, very toyish. And the clothing, just for some reason, it just looks really third-party. I mean, there's third-party figures that put out better clothing than what this has on it. And because it's Power Pose, you don't have the option really for anything. It's either you display it or you don't display it. And as I said, I think a lot of collectors are going to be dumping this Bruce on the aftermarket to try to recoup some of the money maybe, and just display the suit in the armory, or have the armory empty and have the actual Batman suit with a faceplate. I think that's probably the ideal thing. But also bear in mind, we do have another armory on its way, the Bruce Wayne head sculpt. I do hope that fares much better. At least at that point, you're getting two fully articulated figures. The Bruce Wayne in the suit at least is articulated, so you can kind of, futz that around and do what you want with this, and you're not restricted in terms of, what you are with this Power Pose. But it was one of those that was very questionable. I was very shaky about it. Like I said, I made a video about it, and I felt this is one, because of the price point, it needed to really be a home run. I'm not a sculptor, but I almost kind of felt that maybe because it's a Power Pose piece, that maybe might have been easier to do, but then again, you know, I'm not going to speak out of line because I'm not a sculptor, so it very well could have posed still challenges nonetheless. But I think the likeness it definitely dropped off, even here from the first proto. Looking back on it, you know, when these things come out a year ago, you do forget what they look like. So when you go back, and even me, when I go back and make these reaction videos, I try to pull the original photos just to kind of do some comparisons. And man, I was a little crucial of that back when that came out in, you know, last year. And holy shit, it looks like 10 times better, where I wish that we got the proto, the one that you saw, you know, from March or April for that matter. That's the figure I wish that we got, because at least then, even though he's still a little more, you know, he's overly muscular, the sculpt and everything just still looks better than what the final product is. And for those who have it on order, I still think you're going to be able to do, you know, I don't mean to bash it too much, but I'm just calling a spade, where I just don't think Hot Toys delivered on this piece. And it was kind of not doomed, but it was kind of shaky pretty early on from the announcement. And then when they tried to update it, they updated it, I think, for the worse. And then now here's the release. So it's not cheap. I do think some people are going to try to park this out to try to recoup their money and try to, you know, lessen the blow. And others, I mean, we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll see what the initial reactions are from those online. It's only been out for, you know, a few hours now. Some people might cancel. Some people might try to jump over and get the other armory, but that is a different armory altogether in terms of the visual display. It is the same Batman suit that we're getting with this one, and then the Bruce Wayne is obviously different with the actual three-piece and the articulation. So that's the one that I personally have on order, and I really do hope Hot Toys at least, you know, looks at this and goes back to that one and really kind of gives it a little bit more fine-tuning. But I always thought it was kind of an issue having both these armories so close together in terms of announcement and release. You're just having, even though they're different, there's still a lot of money, and I don't know there's many collectors that are going to go in on both of them. They're going to pick and choose what they want the best of that, you know, fits their collection. So it was always a gamble, you know, from the beginning, them running two armories so close together, not even like a year, you know, it was a very risky gamble. And like this one right now, I think it's an L for the most part, unfortunately, due to the Bruce Wayne situation. But I kind of wish they did this one where there was no Bruce Wayne figure. They just did the clear armory with the bat suit and called it a day. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are below. You know, drop a comment. Let me know if you got this on order. Do you plan on keeping it? You know, am I being crazy? But like I said, I think the reactions overall, people seem to be like meh about it. Obviously, it's going to have shelf presence regardless. It's just that for the amount of money Hot Toys was charging, I just don't know if the value. I don't know if they delivered personally. I don't think they did. I think they could have done better. And I think this is one that, unfortunately, the ball was dropped on. But let me know what your thoughts are below. This is Mr. Mom Collectible saying take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.